Three gunmen wearing explosive vests stormed the UN-approved Bakhtar guesthouse. This was 6:30 a.m. local time. A little later, the Serena Hotel was under rocket fire. This is the top hotel in Afghanistan, favoured by diplomats and, as it happens, just opposite the presidential palace in what is supposed to be the most secure part of Kabul. Jonah Hull has more.
It was early morning. Most would have been in bed inside the Bakhtar guest house when the attackers entered the compound. These were the scenes a short while later. Afghan police and security personnel had surrounded the building. A fire blazed inside. It wasn't clear how many attackers there were, or whether, as reports suggested, they were holding hostages. Silence followed the initial minutes of gunfire and loud explosions. Later, more explosions were heard. Emergency teams scrambled to help the injured and to reach those trapped inside. Some had sustained broken limbs in the rush to escape upper parts of the guest house building. A Taliban spokesman quickly claimed responsibility. There were three attackers, he said, armed with rocket-propelled grenades, assault rifles, and each equipped with explosive bomb vests. An hour and a half later, the toll was beginning to emerge. The three Taliban attackers died, possibly by detonating their explosives. The United Nations was counting a far grimmer cost. A number of Afghan security personnel were also killed or wounded.
Well, this is the Bakhtar guest house, swarming with security and emergency personnel behind those green guard gates, the still smouldering ruins of the building itself. A commercial guest house, this, in the heart of the city, in one of its most secure suburbs, and approved by the UN to house its personnel. The UN approved commercial guest houses based on adequate security, armed guards, a secure bunker in case of emergency, blast-proof glass. But in this case, those measures were not enough.
Not far away, reports arrived of another attack, this time by distant mortar fire on the five-star Serena Hotel. There were no reports of casualties here, but a targeted pattern was emerging. Two attacks on targets known to be associated with foreigners in some of the securest parts of central Kabul. The Taliban spokesman said anyone taking part in or responsible for elections in Afghanistan is now a legitimate target. With the second round vote scheduled for next week, a clear message: the Taliban can launch attacks wherever and whenever they want.